Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Lifetime Legacy Lawyer Podcast. Seth Wilson and Thomas Vick here with you. Seth, how's it going today?
Thomas, I'm doing great, although a little warm around central Indiana this week. Heat advisories all over the place, and you can see why as soon as you hit the front door. But it just indicates that summer is coming, and we're coming quickly to Independence Day here in the United States. And pretty special time for the United States of America, celebrating its 250th.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a get together with some folks from church and some family on Saturday to celebrate the 4th of July. One of my jobs is going to be to read the Declaration of Independence. So that will be maybe a little formal, maybe a little bit more formal than some people would like, but we're definitely going to take an opportunity to celebrate the country in which we live and all the freedoms that we enjoy. And it's a special thing to live and be a citizen of the United States of America. And it's even more special that we get to be a lawyer in the United States of America and get to in law school study constitutional law. I had two semesters of constitutional law when I was in law school, and you kind of get that was one of my favorite classes because you get to learn about the foundations of your country. And I look back at that class fondly and remember some of the principles that I learned there and how it relates to law practice today.
Yeah, it's so fun to be an attorney now and having a few years of practice under my belt, more than I probably should admit, I suppose. But thinking about the cases that we did study in constitutional law in law school, and then watching what is happening to those cases as they're interpreted by today's Supreme Court, and looking at the development of that area of jurisprudence and watching the reasoning and remembering all the effort that goes into arguing and preparing these cases and the role of the rule of law in our society and how well that works and the balance of powers and the struggles that we've seen in recent court opinions about that. Just really a fascinating system that has stood the test of time in a great way. And the principles that were established in the Constitution, just a bedrock for us and our society, and really need to be a part of the 250th anniversary of the country, and looking forward to celebrating that this coming weekend.
Yeah, and I think about all of those that have made great sacrifices, some the ultimate sacrifice of giving their life for our country that allows us to practice law and to kind of argue cases and to protect that ability to bring a case in controversy before a court, before a jury of one's own peers. That wouldn't be possible without the bravery and the courage that so many who have gone before us have done for us. And so think about that. And, I think about that when I meet with veterans that are coming through my office. I'm an accredited attorney for, Veterans Administration cases. And so from time to time, I get phone calls and questions about some of the benefits that veterans have. And it's always an honor to kind of listen to veterans, and sometimes I get to hear their stories and find out kind of the details of what they went through for the country. And that's an insight that lawyers particularly get to have from time to time, and that's always a neat thing.
Yeah, and just an incredible sacrifice and impact on the families of those who have served alongside of each other in that way. Or we were at the solo and small firm for the Indiana State Bar a few weeks ago, and there was a discussion on the rule of law in Guantanamo Bay and different things that were happening. And two, the individuals involved in all of that were just sharing their experience, and just incredible to such a broad spectrum of folks that influence the freedoms that we feel every day. And it's easy to take that for granted in the midst of all the news that's out there and all the political discussions back and forth, shall we say, and lose sight of the greatness of this system that we get to enjoy each and every day.
Well, wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Hope everybody stays safe, stays cool during this hot summer sun. And yeah, stay tuned to Lifetime Legacy Lawyers podcast. Look forward to having more podcasts and more resources available to people in the second half of the year. We're building out some modules, some courses that people can take that will allow them to get a little bit of extra access to us and extra education and how to have a law office managed properly, managed well. And so people should be looking forward to that. And we're still building that out, but looking forward to how we might be able to assist people in the future.
Yeah, as we get back to school in our thinking, several weeks down the road yet, we want to have some of those resources available. So as kids may be getting back to school, you too could get back to school and take some classes and training on launching your own law firm. And it's going to be a lot of fun to partner with folks on that journey and celebrate those successes, learn from the failures, and build a practice that really supports what you would like to do, that purpose-driven law firm. So really looking forward to that. Excited to complete a lot of the hard work that we've been going through already and start to show that to folks around, hopefully, the great country that we live in.
Sounds good. Well, thanks, Seth. We'll talk to everybody later.
Thanks, Thomas.